the team who've been reporting on this is that they've been relying on this 1989 OLC opinion. This is an Office of Legal Counsel opinion from the Justice Department, which overruled an earlier opinion. Essentially, what the Justice Department said in this opinion is that the FBI has the jurisdiction, has the right, if ordered by the president, to carry out an arrest on foreign soil if in contravention of international law, if the president says so. And so that's one of the things we anticipate that the president and the administration is going to explain, that they have the authority to send in the U.S. military to carry out this operation. The FBI, the hostage rescue team, was part of this operation. They captured and they brought him onto the Iwo Jima, and now they're trying to move him to New York. The logistics of that are not that simple. Obviously, he's on a military ship. It's a little distance away from New York, so they have to figure out how to get him from there to New York. They're probably going to fly him to a U.S. base somewhere in the Caribbean and then transfer him. All of that is being done as we speak. Wolf, we expect that he could be in court. Elena, I think you've heard this as well, that he could be in court as soon as Monday morning. And then we'll see this process begin, where he's going to answer these charges related to narco trafficking that the U.S. says he's been participating in for decades.
The Southern District of New York has been filing these charges against him. I'm just curious, once he gets these charges against him, will he be out on bail? Will he be taken to a U.S. jail? What happens?
No, he will not be allowed to go free. I don't anticipate. Obviously, that's something that a judge will have to decide. I don't get to make that decision. But yeah, we expect that he is going to be held most likely at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. This is a high security federal prison, jail, that where a lot of high-profile people have been held, and that's where it's most likely he is going to be held. Alongside, by the way, some of the cartel members that have been brought there to New York in the last few years, and which the U.S. says Maduro has been actively helping, not only helping them bring drugs from South America through Mexico to the United States, but also helping them launder those proceeds over the last decades.
All right, we'll see what happens. A lot of drama will unfold, to be sure. Evan, thank you very, very much. We're going to get back to Aaron in New York. Aaron?
All right, Wolf, and as we're awaiting the president, as Wolf just said, the president's now about a half an hour late from the anticipated address in Mar-a-Lago, where we've been showing you the images. The press have been gathered in there now for well over a half an hour. And so, but we're awaiting the president. Now, he did just post something on his own social media site. I want to show it to you. It is an image of Nicolas Maduro in custody. So President Trump just posting this image. We have just cleared it here. So let me keep it up and explain this to you. He is putting this out and saying this is Nicolas Maduro in custody. And just take a look at what he's wearing, from the sunglasses, the thing around his neck, the water bottle, what he's wearing. Let's just keep this up. I want to bring in the New York Times White House and Chief National Correspondent David Sanger. David, this is an incredible moment. Obviously, you have been covering moments analogous to this for decades. But let's just look at this image that President Trump has just posted. And when we pull out, it's almost like as if it's a sweatshirt and some sort of a tied sweatpants hastily put together. What do you see in this image of Nicolas Maduro that President Trump has just posted?
Well, it is remarkable and sort of reminds you of the photographs of Saddam when he was first grabbed, Noriega in 1989 when he came out of Panama. Clearly, Maduro was not planning to spend his evening the way that he was. And you see him there in what looks like sweatpants and so forth, holding his water bottle, but also his handcuffs on. You know, I think this is going to raise all kinds of interesting issues. You just heard from Evan the legal pretext, and he has been under indictment since 2020. So I think the administration will lean heavily into enforcing that indictment and putting him in front of a judge. But the president has made clear in many different ways that this is about more than just drugs and Maduro. It is about access to oil. The president had a Truth Social on that a few weeks ago, where he demanded that the U.S. get restored rights that it had to that oil years ago. It's about regime change. If you go into the president's national security strategy, you see something called the Trump corollary that basically asserts that the United States has the right to go in and clean up governments that are causing disruption or a threat within the region. So it'd be interesting to see which one of these the president leans on.
And also, you know, when we look at an image like this, and I think your perspective here of talking about Saddam Hussein, right, Noriega, you know, when you look at an image like this, right, this is the first image. This now is an image that is going to stand for something. And of course, we do anticipate seeing Maduro and his wife, his son, as they call him, the prince, you know, they're appearing in New York, right? We're going to see them in coming days, we expect, but we haven't seen him yet. So this is all there is for the world to look at. How does an image like this land with Xi Jinping, with Vladimir Putin, with you know, in autocracies and dictatorships around the world that are looking at this moment as perhaps a crucial precedent for where we are headed? What is this image, and what do they see in it, David?
Great question, Aaron. I mean, on the one hand, it shows the ability of the United States to get through multiple layers of security and grab an authoritarian leader. So that's the downside for them. But I think the more they think about it, the more they may give thought to what the precedent enables them to do. I mean, if it turns out that the United States can get away with doing this, could President Putin attempt this with President Zelensky, who he has declared is a criminal? Could China's leaders do this with the president of Taiwan, which China has declared is a breakaway province? So I think on the one hand, it shows the huge reach of the American military. On the other hand, it creates a precedent others could well abuse.
And there's also, of course, the deliberate, you know, to show his disarray, his chaos, his lack of looking presidential or in charge, right? His sweatpants. It's a humiliating image, and obviously purposefully so. They're sending that message on purpose. David, in that context,
he didn't forget his sunglasses, though. Yeah.
Right. I mean, and I mean, perhaps there's a story behind that, but almost the sweatpants like half pulled up. They don't even appear to be up on his waist all the way. David, just looking at the clock here, Eastern time right now, 11:37 in the morning. We had anticipated the president speaking at 11 a.m. Eastern at Mar-a-Lago, and obviously these things can shift on time, right? So that isn't abnormal in and of itself. But we are almost 40 minutes past the time. What do you think could be happening in that time? You know, obviously Wolf's group has been discussing, and Elena's been reporting on possibly new information coming in or who's going to be present. But what do you think this 40-minute delay could mean?
Well, first, we don't know, but we have some guesses. The president, in an earlier appearance on Fox, said that they would be revealing some details of the operation, but not all details. And they may well be debating which ones they're going to release and which ones they are not. Obviously, there's a propaganda element to that, as there is with the release of this photograph. Second, I think the president's got to figure out which of the explanations he leans on here. And thirdly, I think he's got to go figure out, what does he tell his MAGA base that was already worried that he was spending too much time on this?
Oh, here he is. He is walking out right now.